Valo Media started 4 years ago in 2019, and we started doing video. I've shot video for the last 10, 15 years. I've always loved shooting video. I come from an action sports background.
Okay.
And so wakeboarding, snowboarding, skateboarding, I was that kid in high school that had the camera everywhere and was always making the videos on the weekends.
Right.
Well, that turned into like more of a career back in 2019 when I realized I could do it for a profession. I was an engineer for 6 years, and realized that I wanted to do video for like forever. Okay. So I started shooting some videos, and that formed Valo Media. And at that point, I was just doing like action sports stuff. But I realized that like people wanted weddings done, and then I started doing like more jobs for like gyms and fitness, and like it was right up my alley. I realized that like this is definitely where I want to take it.
All right.
So that's where it was for probably the next 3 years, and recently over the last year we've branched out more, offering more services. So I brought Nina on 2-3 months ago, and that helped me expand to, she like redid the website. So when you guys are checking out the website, she was able to do that. She worked at a marketing agency for a few years before coming to Valo Media, so she had a lot of expertise of being kind of a jack of all trades, right? So that helped Valo Media offer more services, but we've always been very video heavy, but want to grow more into like a full-fledged marketing firm.
Nice.
And offer everything.
All right, and my ears cut out right when you said it, so you'll forgive me, but you said 6 years of engineering?
6 years of engineering, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked at Johnson Controls doing automotive engineering. We built prototypes for auto shows, and it was a sick gig.
Yeah.
It was really cool, actually. Got to run some really cool CNC machines, and I've always loved building stuff with my hands.
Right.
Went to school for it back in Wisconsin where I grew up, and moved to Michigan in 2014.
All right.
And worked for them for about 6 years, and then left in 2020, I believe.
That's quite a jump, though, from engineer to going into media.
Huge jump. Yeah, I had to talk with a guy yesterday about how weird it is to go from typical engineer, math geek, like not very social, to a very social, creative industry, right? Yeah. And I think that I realized that like the engineering that I was doing wasn't a typical like chemical, mechanical engineer. It was a prototype engineer. So you had to be really creative thinking on the very beginning steps of how something was manufactured. Okay. And so, it was kind of the artsy side of engineering.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, man.
So you were wakeboarding, and then you got sponsored by GoPro, right?
Correct.
Ooh. How did that happen to get sponsored by such a big company like that?
Well, at the time they weren't big. So this was back in, I don't even know when they launched, maybe 2010 or maybe before that. But I was working at a cable park wakeboarding. Do you guys know what a cable park is?
Mm-mm.
So imagine wakeboarding getting rid of the boat. So, and instead replacing the boat with like an overhead cable system.
Okay. Is that cable pulling you then, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
So you have like a guy driving the system that's pulling this like pulley back and forth.
Okay.
And then you just have like this floating skate park on the water.
Okay. Never heard of that. Oh,
yeah, it's pretty crazy. They have one in Hudsonville, which is, if you guys ever want to check it out, Action Water Sports or Action Wake Park. But I grew up on the water, always wakeboarding, doing those action sports. So when I started to compete more, I looked at, what kind of sponsorships can I get? What was it? A board sponsor, like a life jacket or a vest company or a helmet company. And GoPro launched like a year or two before. So that was the only thing to film that was waterproof. Mm-hmm. So I was filming all my stuff with GoPro, and sure enough, I reached out for a sponsorship, and they ended up sponsoring me.
All right.
So that was really cool, because then it was like, all right, well, with this sponsorship, we hope that you deliver X amount of videos a week. And video wasn't that huge back then, but I just gravitated so much to it. And being able to film myself, mount the GoPro on my helmet, have my buddy film it, on a jet ski next to me, and not worry about it getting water damaged, that was just like, I consumed my life with that GoPro.